Namaskar viewers. Today is September 11 and the significance is it is called Universal Brotherhood Day. The reason is on the same day our visionary monk Swami Vivekananda went first time to the western countries, that is the United States of America, and he put forward the views of Vedanta and Hindutva in front of the World Religious Parliament, other dignitaries. So the bell that rung there resonated everywhere and what he gave the message from that dais is known to everyone. The first sentence was the brothers and sisters. Though we have said this sentence n number of times in our life, but how actually have we understood the meaning behind it and the reason behind it? And he also made another statement wherein he said, I want 100 such men and women who would dedicate their life for the Bharat Mata. And one such daughter of Bharat Mata is with me, and she has dedicated her life for the upliftment of the underprivileged society, especially children. And she's working for Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari. Her name is Kumari Radha Devi. She is a Jivan Vrati of Vivekananda Kendra Karyakarta. In her almost 29 years of lifespan, she has spent time on almost all the places in India. And currently, she is a Dakshina Pranta Sanghatan, that is South India of Bharat nation, we call it. So today, I am privileged and honored to have my most beloved Didi, Radha Didi. So, Suswagatam Radha Didi to Diva Forum. Didi, before we start the questions, I have a very peculiar question for you. What inspired you to join Vivekananda Kendra at such a young age?
It's really one interesting stories behind is that from the childhood I've been inspired by Swami Vivekananda because of my family background, I should say. My grandfather was so a great devotee of, Swamiji, Sri Ramakrishna Ma Sharada and Swamiji. And listening to the Swamiji's, stories from the very childhood, the best thing attracted me was like Swamiji every time telling the people that each soul is potentially divine. Everybody has the divinity within and everybody can do everything. In fact, they only have to try. Another thing inspired me was like they alone live, who live for others, the rest are more dead than alive. So these are the very important thing which attracted me, and the Swamiji's life itself. Reading from the very childhood, Swami Vivekananda was something great inspiration to me. And I always used to think that why I should live only for myself. If I could give something to the world, really, that will be a great thing. That was my attraction. But I must owe everything to my grandparents and parents who guided me and shaped me to that. So
All of
inspiration.
us know these sentences, but very few of us live it the way you are living. So we'll talk about it some other time. But since today's topic is Swamiji's visit to America first time to present Hindutva. So Didi, I have first question for you is like before leaving for US, Swamiji went to meet Shrima and took her blessings. What made him to take blessings of Holy Mother?
In fact, it is the tradition of our motherland. When a child goes out of the home, he or she first, tells mother that I'm going, is it not?
Yes.
It's our tradition, in fact, and we forget actually that is knowingly or unknowingly we do it. Swamiji, after passing away of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was on, going all around wandering as a wandering monk, and he realized many things what Thakur Sri Ramakrishna taught him during his going all around. And it was when he was asked to go for the to be part of the definitely for this World Parliament of Religion, the first thing came to his mind was as Thakur Ramakrishna physically not available with him, he must have the blessings of mother, because they didn't treat mother as different. Mother, in fact, Thakur Ramakrishna had given everything to her, and she was the one who was guiding the entire monk order, and under her guidance they were all groomed up. Thakur passed away, but mother was taking care of all of them. So getting mother's permission to go to such a far off place was very important for Swamiji. And here we must also understand how humble he was. Not that what mother has learned or what is mother's position. The more of the thing we must understand today. Every young man and young woman must understand what is the a person who is such a caliber, a person who has got such a knowledge in the life, but he comes down to mother's feet to get mother's permission before. We all, when we get a chance to get into something, we forget everything. We just jump into.
Yes.
But the blessings of the elders, how important Swamiji's life is teaching us. So Swamiji first took that. This is actually also for us people, not reading from the book alone, to ponder on, to introspect of what exactly a blessing means. And you will see later on in his life when he went all around, how that blessings helped him to march forward. So
I think it was a divinity of mother that Swamiji identified, and he definitely wanted her so-called consent before starting for such a big mission. Now, another question comes with this, Didi, is everything looks like a divine plan. Swamiji's travel to Western country first time, the arrangements and everything. However, when he actually started, from the time he reaches to the dais, he had to face a lot of hurdles. So, what shall we understand from this episode also?
Actually, people may think that, a great person's life when we look at. This is another message for the world. Nothing can be achieved without a sacrifice. There is a sacrifice needed. So you are very great, much of knowledge of all Vedantas and Puranas, etc., or Upanishads, whatever it may be. But then, you have to face hardships, hurdles in the life. But if all this knowledge, if it is understanding that you understand from this knowledge that you are divine, you can face anything. The challenges are nothing in front of you. You can come out of that, So every step, you leave that going to America, you think of how Swamiji is moving in this country, his own motherland. When he went around, did he not face anything? How many days he couldn't have food in this our own land? There was a trip. But all those time, he could get, God's grace, people coming, waiting in the railway station for giving him food. How this has happened? So, not looking at the difficulties he's faced, but all the time, how the hands, the divine hands always supported him. When he came, he was on the street, he lost everything, and then a lady comes out and then tells, who was that lady? How that she came out? How she could understand that this man? They were not knowing anything about Sri Ramakrishna. They were not knowing anything about Swami Vivekananda. And then how they could accommodate him. So how in the ship somebody recognizes him and tells that, oh, you are something, all of us professors put together, you are more than that. How this has come? So it means the facing the challenges was nothing to Swami Vivekananda. He was a man of conviction that he believed in the truth. He believed in the Puranas. He believed in our sanskara, that is the Indian culture. So he had no any doubt on it. Therefore, facing was, it's not like he faced this difficulty. He was every time finding some opportunity to share his messages to the people. Is it not, when we say that, is it not that the experience which Swamiji had? True. Is it not? True. So, it was not like a facing difficulties or everything is God's plan. Then also he faced. So now we shall not go ahead in our life. No, in fact, we should derive this message from that. Every difficulty, when a man of conviction comes forward, he has all the divine plans working behind him. He will be given number of experiences in the life, and later on these experiences will be shared with many, and they will convincingly, they will with most confidently, they can come out and face any challenges in the life. In fact, these are the things which appeal to me a lot. No, it is not that you will not face any difficulty in your life when you march ahead in service. No, it's happening. So Swamiji's life is something, that's why it is very inspiring to every one of us. But then there is a divine play every time we can experience from his life.
Very true. And this is what I wanted you to say also, like such a divine personality too had to undergo difficulties. So it's a learning or lesson for us that what we should take from it. Wonderful. The next doubt that comes to my mind very strongly is the message that Swamiji wanted to give about Hindutva. Till today, we know that majority of us do not know what is Hindu. Bharatiya being Indian, we are still struggling to find out our originality. So, what made Swamiji to go to such a far off place and then spread the message? Then also, I think there was a need to talk to people of our nation. Why would he choose to go that far and talk about Hindu?
In fact, Ketaki, this is a wonderful question, because what was the condition of this country at that time? We were under the slavery of Britishers, and we were mostly like slaves only. We were not able to understand our divinity, and actually Swamiji wanted to make our people understand that you have everything with you and you must stand up. But then when we are in our own country, when our own people say something to us, it doesn't appeal to us. People take it casually.
True.
Swami Vivekananda as a Narendranath Datta moved in this country, nobody noticed much. Very less of the people, very less non-personality. He went around, is it not? How many places he walked? Definitely, there were people who, a handful of people understood him, some pockets. But Swamiji realized that time we were under the understanding whatever comes from the West is best for us. Is it not?
Yeah, so now also.
Now also it is there. So when Swamiji went there and spoke from that platform, here the things started ringing in everybody's. Had it been here, nobody would have noticed it. When he went there, when he started speaking, and the people in the West started praising him like anything. Even the West also did not understand first, unless he talked. Thereafter he became everybody wanted him to be their guest. Yes. That was the condition. Yes. So this is where you have to establish yourself. You have to prove yourself. You have to get a platform for that. So when Swamiji went there, it's not that after coming back he didn't speak. He went around. He did not even rest. In fact, after tired of speaking, he came back to the country to have a little rest. Could he take any rest? No, not at all. You not find in his life. But he came back and he put the same thing to every one of us. And today also, if at all in this country something is ringing, it means it's Swami Vivekananda's words. Because it was words of conviction, words of truth, and from the Upanishads and the Vedanta. So, Hindutva, Swamiji has proved that it's not that only worshipping XYZ gods. Hindu is the man, he says very clearly, then and then alone you are a Hindu. When you will become a Hindu, at the first sight you see a person, that person becomes yours. You don't find them different. Swamiji that's how Swamiji become the universal phenomenon. He never said, I am a Bengali fellow, I am a Indian fellow. No. Universe. How this universal phenomenon, that aspect came into him. That is our rich Indian traditional culture. Is it not? This is teaching us that expansion is life, contraction is death. Swamiji did not contract himself, he expanded. So here are so many things to talk about when this question comes. What exactly is a Hindu? So Swamiji, wherever he went, nobody rejected. Even a Negro says, brother, you are our person. How come the person accepted him? Swamiji did not say, no, you are a Negro, I am an Indian. No, he said, yes, I am yours. You are mine. We are not different. That this is the concept of this country. We are one.
What was his message to the other religious leaders.
So
about
he was,
Hinduism.
that is very beautiful. They were all talking about themselves,
Mhm.
I am the best, I am the best,
Mhm.
ours, nobody else is best. In fact, the World Parliament of Religion was for what? We are the best.
Yes.
They wanted to show that. But
Yes.
Swamiji smashed that
Yes.
by telling the story of the frog in the well. The frog in the well cannot understand what exactly a frog came from the straw. Beautiful story. Why did he say that story? Coming from the, is it that in the sea there is a frog? He said this story. The frog in the well is in a very limited area. It cannot understand vastness or depthness of the sea. So when the frog in the from the sea will start speaking, what this frog in the well can understand, how much water and all that story is there. Beautiful story of frog in the well. So this was the message to them by Swamiji. Don't be frog in the wells. Try, come out. There is much to learn from India because India is such a vast, rich cultural tradition is there for you to. So it is a Sanatana Dharma. It's not a religion. That's what Swamiji gave the message to the entire world. Not only particular religion, I must say. It was for the entire world. The message was given very strongly, and that's why the changes at least we are seeing now.
Now, yes.
And I believe.
So, Devi, 1893 was like 130 years now from today, if we count back. The message of Upanishad, was it very premature stage for the Westerns?
Somewhat, now we cannot say immature stage, but they were not much experienced and to digest it. That is true. But there were philosophers, there were good people who were ready to accept that, and that's why they followed Swami Vivekananda because they were waiting. Sister Niveda's life, if we see, she was really thinking, waiting for someone to guide her. She got it. If it was immature state, definitely she wouldn't have come up in her life. If her parents would not have brought her up, say that if should not, many such disciples who followed Swamiji, they came to serve our motherland, our culture was nothing but this only, So there is nothing like immature, but it was like inexperienced, we can say. To digest this philosophy of India was not that easy for them. How can it be? That question always was there for them. But Swami Vivekananda was such a great personality that he could, penetrate into them. In fact, with our tradition in such a way that because he was not everything by just, mugging up or putting just information in his head. He always, from his childhood, we will see that he everything tested and okayed, is it not? So when he said it, it is said tested and okayed thing. Nobody had any doubt. Now also when we read, Swamiji said, that means no any doubt.
Yes, authenticated.
That's what it.
Maybe I have one very peculiar question. As just now you were mentioning, still there is majority of chunk of society people, not only in our nation, outside as well, are not able to imbibe the very thought that oneness can exist, integrity and diversity can coexist, and every person is potentially divine is also a very different level of acceptance. So, is it so hard to understand this philosophy for common men? Is because our scripture is in Sanskrit, is that one hurdle, or there is something beyond that?
Actually, nothing like hard, Today, it was very interesting. One very good example I can just narrate. Today, we had our Lalita Sahasranama class. To take in Lalita Sahasranama, there is a class 10 girl is taking the chanting for the other ones. So they are all trying to chant. So somebody said Vishnu Sahasranam was very easy, but Lalita Sahasranam is very difficult. In fact, I too said that for me, Vishnu Sahasranam is the easiest one. Lalita Sahasranam is tough, and now also I find it tough. But this class 10 girl says that for me, the Vishnu Sahasranam is still tough, but Lalita Sahasranam is easy. Then she said, reason for that, she said, from the womb of my mother, I have been listening Lalita Sahasranam. My mother used to continuously chant. Otherwise, in my case, my mother used to chant Vishnu Sahasranam. That I have been listening from the womb. See the difference. So today, why our children, or otherwise the people in this country finding it difficult is simple as this example. We are not listening it. For us, simple thing also become hard because we are not practicing it. Nothing is, hard as such. We are not put ourselves, we did not put the effort to learn. When we start learning, suppose when this mobile came for the first time, was it not difficult for us to, operate it? But the manual came up, we have read it and we have gone through, tried, and now a small boy born 3, 6 months, 4 months and all, they are taking it and speaking and doing it. How come? So what you give them practice from their very childhood will be easiest thing. So it's not the Sanskrit, the language, or it is not the philosophy which is there in the our rich tradition. It's only we not practicing it is our problem. So if we start it from the very childhood, it will be done.
Practice is one part. I feel that even belief in that also is another difficult.
Exactly. But belief again, how will it come unless I see every day in my home? My mother is doing, my father, grandparents, etc. So if that is not done, how can we expect? So we need to have Amrit Parivars in our country.
True. Yeah, there are many such things which Vivekananda Kendra is initiating. Many other noble organizations are initiating, and they are required, much needed. Was there a religious, very intolerance intense then, or it is intolerant now?
In fact, intolerance, this intolerance word was not from our country, and we never had these kind of things in our country. Had it been there, nobody could have entered here.
True.
We were not that, therefore everybody could come and we could give place to everybody who came. Because we are here in an open heart. Anybody who came, only the problem started raising when I gave place to you to sit in my home. Once you sat here, you started telling me that you are a outsider, get out. So then I raised my voice and I had to, it was for my survival. So when this happens, things will become different. Now also, if you really properly observe what is happening around, you try to analyze what is happening going around, you will understand that why this is happening. Nothing but it's not the tolerance. If you do not have tolerance, you see the very, very culture of our land is, it's acceptance only. The universal acceptance, what Swami Vivekananda said to them. We are not, see, Swamiji's first speech, we should listen. How Swamiji said, there is a country in this globe, only country which accepts everything. For them, everything is God. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Nothing other than God. So there is no question of your God, my God, and etc. etc. For us, that was not there at all. When this has come, when you came and shouted at us, you came and blamed us, you came and destroyed our culture. We started reacting to that. If not, then there is no question. So there is nothing like it. Now also that is the only thing happening. We coexist. There is no any problem. How to say this? People should understand it in a very, it's not like fanaticism and all that. It is the truth. It is the truth. It is the thing what happens to everybody. Why a woman will retaliate when she is unbearable for her, she might retaliate. Then you say her different, or like anything for that matter. It happens like that only.
True, very true. Other question in this context comes to my mind is people still, whether we like it or not, get attracted to Western things very easily. Like somebody, Sadhvi, Ma was telling me, I entertain foreign devotees more than Indian devotees. That is the level of attraction we have. So, how are they different spiritually than East? Reason why I'm asking is on the materialistic prosperity, they are doing very well. But when they want the peace of mind or they want the satisfaction or happiness, they look up to Indian spiritual centers, whether it is retreat center or yoga therapy center, but they come to India. So what I want to understand is, why don't we understand at first place? Unless we hear from Westerns, why don't we understand at first place?
This is actually when mother says, no, children will not understand. Mother cooks will not feel happy. They will go to the neighbor and they will feel more happy. So actually, Western things are more of like, the material thing and outside pombi pambi type of things. Here there is a hardships. To live truthfully, you have to be very hard with yourself. Otherwise, you can't live truthfully. And here in this land, truth was given the highest position.
Yes.
That's why the gurus were of that type. They were not behind money, etc. So now you give place to those people who are, materialistically well off. Such people. So slowly and slowly, the mindset has changed to that. If you live in a very big house, you are respected. Your bangla is there, you are respected. If you are living in a hut, nobody looks at you. So when this thing happened, only slowly our attention changed to that. In fact, it is nothing like a difference. It is all attitude, mental attitude. We were not materialistic at all. We were peace-loving people.
Yes,
We used to go to Vanaprastha was like they go to the jungle, forget everything, leave everything, they go. But today, how much more I can? I retire from one job and then I try to get another job and again getting money and then earning and earning. You are ultimately reaching where? You don't understand anything in the life. So the spiritual favor or that flavor to understand taste, they have to come to India still, even though Indians are not practicing that much, still this is the country where they get that peace of mind. You just imagine what a thing it is. Now also they say that I also come across so many foreigners. Why are they coming is nothing but they get peace here. They say, you all heart open, you laugh. We are so happy to see that kind of laugh. It comes from the heart, not, like a lip smile. It's from the heart.
Not superficial. It's definitely coming.
It's not superficial.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Swamiji said one sentence also in that message, that the whole Western civilization is standing on a volcano, and when will it erupt? That will be really disastrous, and that's what we are seeing for past many years now. I want you to comment on the very fact that most of the people are migrating from rural areas to urban areas. They may be doing very petty job here, but they still want to win city. They still want to win metro, and they are suffering. They are going through a lot of hardship instead of their hometown. What should we? Because you cannot teach spirituality. Empty stomach is also Swamiji's sentence. So how should we convince people that their origin, their place is as good as what they are dreaming for?
Very interesting. It is actually the only solution is education. Today we are not getting the right education. We are getting only bread earning education, in fact, in the schools. So from the very childhood, if you ask them what do they want in their life, is nothing but they want to be engineer, doctor, or whatever, etc., etc. What for? It's all earning money. Why are you earning money? To have a bangla. Why bangla? I should get married and have a life. And again, then that circle, only that circle they are in. They are not out of that. They can't even imagine to have. There is another world where you realize yourself and you come out and you will enjoy this freedom of life. But today the freedom is found in a different way by the entire education system. So unless and until Indian education system comes back and the people take up, this is not going to change, and that to come back completely is not possible. Certain things have to be changed, and the children has to learn from the very childhood that the purpose of their life is not bread earning alone. How much you need to eat in a life? After you gone getting wealth after wealth, and then you run around, and when you are about to eat, you don't have your throat only to for eat. Your digestive system is not up to the mark that you what you want you can eat. You become the slave of so many such diseases. Your food, whatever you would like to eat, will not be allowed for you to eat. So why this is happening is nothing but this kind of education. Swamiji said he's a very stress was on education. But education is what? Not information putting into the head, and it moves there, and then it becomes, make you mad. But it should be making you to stand on your own feet, and you become such a person with a character, and you can understand your potential divinity. You can do anything in everything. So if that education comes back, this is possible. Else it is not going to be possible. So the correct education of the practicality. You learn so many things. Do you practice that in your life? Today morning we had a Vivek Chudamani class in the morning. So in that it was really telling whatever we learned. See, Adi Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya has given us this kind of education. If you go through that, why our children should go on learning this English and mathematics and all that? Everything is there in that to learn. But do we really give this education to them? So unless that, para and apara vidya, we say, that spiritual knowledge, if not given with this modern knowledge, it will definitely, it is on volcano only. When it will be bursting, we don't know. And everything would be washed away. That's happening.
Yes, actually, yes.
People are experiencing that. So when that happens, only people turn towards this. That's also going to be there. Definitely that will come, because nothing can go wrong as long as such great people, the rishis and such people, they have lived here. So India will be saved at any cost.
Definitely it will be. Maybe over the period, people have seen that the Western ideologies and the civilization has given birth to many unwanted things, like the narcissism, the conflicting ideologies, the intolerance, the unacceptance of different thoughts. In fact, somewhere Swamiji himself has said that Americans have become so arrogant that they are not able to accept or tolerate other prosperity or knowledge or glory for that matter. Same thing we are seeing reflecting in our society as well now. Now, by large, people say that our children do not obey us. I don't know how do I question my teenager. So our society is definitely facing this. It is definitely directly proportionate to the Western ideology because the influence is from there. How do we tell them to be cautious at this stage only, then going to that level where it will be difficult to, handle later on?
In fact, a lot of work has to be done in this area, because to understand this aspect, why my child is not listening to me, what is wrong with me, how am I living, how my thoughts are there. As you think, so you become. When you think, what are you thinking? Every moment of your thinking, what is it? Swamiji was every time reminding that, mind your thoughts, watch your thoughts. If not, you are going to fall. And as you think, so you become means the thought comes, then the action comes. The thought results into action, action results into result again. So the result comes. So when you think is going like this, so very thought has to be checked. So thought cannot come just like that good. For that there is another process
Practice
behind.
required.
With whom are you? Your company. In what company you are? So Adi Shankaracharya said years before, Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nishtalatatvam, Nishtalatatve Jivan Mukti. If you really want the Jivan Mukti, you are in which Sangha, which company? If your company is not right, you can't think of good things. It matters a lot. So an atmosphere, a continual atmosphere need to be created. And for to create that, we need to work in the families now, because that is the basic unit of our society. So this unit, that particular unit, if not properly taken care, There is a certain, schedules for a family. If that is not done, you can't imagine that by sending a child to an English medium school, he will come back and speak to you English as I'm speaking now, and things will be okay. I am good in speaking very English, but my nature, my behavior, my very conduct itself is not correct. How can you expect them? So again, the system has to be, going to our system, and it is going to come, because that is what the things are changing now. But then another thing is, understanding each other doesn't come just like that also. See, now this body is there. Each part of this body belong to whom? This eye means, what is this eye? Is my leg eye? Is my head eye? Is my this hand eye? Which is eye then? So this all put together, to have that understanding, I must go within. What is this at all? A hand is important, or a leg is important, or this is important. What is important? So in the society when we live, everybody around us, they are directly or indirectly contributing to me. Unless and until that is there, I can't grow. Today I am speaking, how many phenomena are in between, working between us? If these are all not cooperating, will I be able to successfully complete this interview? Not at all. Not at all. When this understanding is there, aham will not come. That ego will not come, because I am nothing actually. Unless this all functions well, how can I speak now? Is it not? So this very understanding has to be, taught to the children from the very childhood, and it has to happen in the family.
Yes.
And the basic unit is family, and therefore Vivekananda Kendra is aiming at this Amrita Parivar. You have to work for them. So parents, it's very tough, because their idea of life is something very different. But then I have a faith, because when we go sit with them, it's happening. They are understanding. Slowly they are coming towards. But lot of workers, of such kind of workers, has to come, and they have to work. Then only this thing will happen.
True. It's a societal issue, and the society has to come forward and sit together. Like Swamiji said, that I come from the land of ancient order of monks in the world. And also he said that all the religions, though they're different ways, but they reach to the same God. And this thought also has to be provoked and imbibed in the new generation. Otherwise, as you rightly said, things will be really challenging, and it has to be done at a parivar level, kutumba level, definitely, no doubt. The last question: what is the way forward to the peaceful, harmonious, and mutual respectful life for the entire world? I'm not talking only about Bharat as such.
The only way is taking the Sanatana Dharma's message to the world, as Swamiji said, because ours is Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, ours is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, ours is everywhere God is there. There is nothing is like, other than God. This message alone can bring peace to the world. Otherwise, I will say, I am correct, you are never correct. So the moment I am correct, you are never correct, nowhere. Exclusive approach will never become successful. Inclusive approach, yes, I accept you as you are. Then come together. You take what you like, no problem. But I can sit with you. I can be together. So when I and you become different, you don't think that finding difference, you will never be able to bring peace in the life. When you try to find out what is, the something which I am thinking in you, when I start connecting with that, we become one, and then the difference will automatically vanish. I will tell you one small thing of another experience. I was teaching children Vishnu Sahasranama. So Jitakrodha Bhagavan's one of the names, Jitakrodha. So I told the children, coming next week, you try, how can you come, win over the krodha, the kopa, the anger on yourself. And then next week when you come, you share your experience. So everybody started sharing. One small girl of class 3, she said, 12 times I could win over, 5 times I lost.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention to that 5 times. Had it been, 5 times, what did you do? So you see, just imagine, this 12 times you could win, how? I concentrated on that. I asked her, and then she said that I started chanting Om Namah Shivaya. I said, how you got that? Then you only told the other day, Namah Shivaya is Shivaya. When you chant Namah Shivaya, it is, your inner peace will start and you will become pure. So I really become pure. I felt no anger in me. So the 5 times I could not do that, I became. So these 5 times we didn't concentrate on. But when we concentrate on what the strength is there, no, weakness will naturally get away. No, oh, wonderful. 12 times you could win over. When we said that, slowly she started changing in her attitude. So, everything in the family level, in the personal level, and all, concentrate on your strength, what is in you, work on that. So, automatically, these negatives, no, you will get away. And to bring a peaceful atmosphere in self, it's not that I can bring peace in you, I can bring peace in myself. And because of my behavior, some changes if comes in you, it's well and good. Nobody can change anybody, only I can change myself, because I can have control on myself only. So if that is the case, everybody should be taught this aspect, how we can find peace in ourselves. So you see, when we come across with some people who are so peaceful, looking at their face, in their presence, we don't know how we change. We don't feel like, going to the airport, you don't spit here and there, because the situation is such that you can't spit there. How you keep it. So the life itself is like that. Nobody should spit on you. That much pure the life you should have. Others, when they see, they will feel like doing a namaskar to you.
True.
No? So this can happen. So it's not like far away from us. Definitely we can achieve. Only that we have to have that conviction of goodness, the truth. So this will definitely come, is what is but my experience. I feel it.
Definitely. So the more you come towards east, you will be away from west. As simple
No,
as
naturally,
that.
naturally, because this Sanatana Dharma is such that nobody can, nobody can see how many types of invasions, how many came. They have smashed everything, what was built. But can they smash this very culture?
Yes.
They can't. Ultimately, they also have to come here.
Yes.
So even if those who came here, they also got Viragati only because of this land. I believe in that.
Agree. I echo it. Didi, lots of dhanyavad to you. And it was definitely enriching talking to you. And especially today's day is really specially impactful and meaningful for many. Many of us do not know the significance of this day. We only know is the American mishap, which is also somewhere indirectly an outcome of this attitude which they need to work on. However, we will conclude with the prayer and thank you once again. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद दीदी
Dhanyavad. Thank you so much.